as Mr. Bean and Mrs. Bean would say, mastering your skill set. So again, welcome to ForeSight Business Academy, where we know you're rich before you do. Grab a pen and paper, grab some water. Tell me where you're coming from. I see 𝐍𝐎𝐓. Thank you, from Naples, Florida. Beautiful, beautiful city. Who else do we have on the call? I see we have Joan, we have Johnny B, we have Omi, our phenomenal, absolutely skilled individual who keeps us all on track, whether it comes to Grant Cardone University or those beautiful graphics for the beans. Thank you very much, Omi. We appreciate everything that you do. We also have Miss Felicia on the line. Welcome, welcome, Miss Felicia, and Rob Smith and Tim Lambert. Welcome, everyone, to ForeSight Business Academy, where we know you're rich before you do. So here, you may hear some movement in the background. That's my dog playing with a ball. He knows to be quiet, but he doesn't know how to stop playing with the ball. So if you hear some fidgeting in the background, it's not me, it's my doggy. Welcome, Rich. Make sure you're dropping in the chat where you're hailing us from. Felicia, thank you. St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis is in the house. Who else do we have in the house? I'm in Maryland, so Maryland is in the house as well. So with ForeSight Business Academy, we have some values, some core values, and a core mission. And our core mission is to help 10,000 families earn $5,000 in residual passive income on a monthly basis, so that we can go ahead and have families be financially free. Because when you help people get what they want, you will get what you want. The more people you help get what they want, the more you will get what you want. It's what you're putting out there in the universe, if you want to call it that, or higher power, if you want to call him that, that comes back to you. So go ahead and put in the chat where you're hailing from. And I'm also going to give some house rules right now. One of the house rules is, if you are camera ready, turn your camera on. It helps our speaker get some feedback. It helps our speaker continue to get energized. It helps our speaker to know that you're engaged, that you're not using the restroom or you're not doing something else, but you're actually live in person and ready to go. So get your cameras on if you are camera ready. If you're not camera ready, you have about 5 more minutes to get camera ready. So let's get camera ready as much as we can. All right, all right, all right. Let me see. I'm making sure I can look over and see who's coming in. And if I have anyone waiting, I've got to keep that on the side as well. But welcome to ForeSight Business Academy, where our motto is, we know you're rich before you do. The goal here tonight is for us to see, we've seen Mr. and Mrs. Bean, or your sponsor, has seen value in you. That's why they've introduced you to ForeSight Business Academy. That's why they've introduced you to this investment fund. It's so that they see value in you. They see Millionaire in you. They see wealth in you. They see debt-free in you. That's what they see in you. And that value comes to being when you take teachings like what we're about to learn tonight from the phenomenal Mr. Bean and apply them. Value. You have value. You are valuable. And when you turn your camera on, you're seen. So make sure we're keeping those cameras on. Let's get pen and paper, get it handy, because yes, you want to sit and you want to absorb the material, but something may hit you that you want to write down. My recommendation is, I learned this from the Grant Cardone University, was to go back to the modules and you repeat the same module at least 10 times, taking new notes so that it's fresh. And then it becomes, one is you don't know it and you're fine with not knowing it. 2 is you get the information and you're kind of like an amateur in the information, but after listening to it 10 times, reading those notes, going back and listening again and taking new notes and reading notes again and applying it, you then become the master, and you master it and it becomes second nature to you. 12 habits of highly successful business people. It maybe we're not, I know for me, I can only speak for me. Right now, I know there are things as a business person that I need to work on. So I'm going to listen diligently to these 12 habits, and then I'm going to choose habits to apply. Choose a habit that choose a habit that I'm strong on and continue to do it, and choose a habit that I'm weaker on and begin to get stronger on it, or at least put people around me who are strong in that habit. So get your pen and paper ready, because remember, we at ForeSight Business Academy, we know you're rich before you do. And you're going to learn principles today on being a successful business person, which will help you on your journey to becoming rich. We value you. We see value in you. And that's why you're here tonight, because we see that value, Mr. Crazy Cajun. We see the value. See, he came on. He's a leader. He's interactive. He's got his camera on. He's probably got his pen and paper right next to him, and he's ready to go because he knows that the nuggets that will drop from Mr. Bean's mouth, they're worth millions. Maybe every habit might be worth $1 million. So we might need to rename this the $12 million habits of successful business people, because that's what you're learning here. Yes, I see it. I see the Crazy Cajun likes that one. Absolutely. So you're here this evening to build yourself. You're here this evening to sharpen yourself. So stay awake, stay alert. I see Tim Lambert has his pen and his paper in front of him. I love it. I love it. I love it. That's what Mr. and Mrs. Bean, that's what they're instilling in us. Like Tim Lambert has that going. He's coachable. He's teachable. He obviously puts personal development at the top of his list. So let's go, let's go, let's go. I'm excited. Welcome to, oh, don't forget Facebook. Thank you, Coach. Don't forget Facebook is what my coach just told me. So let me log on to Facebook before I get into trouble here. But remember, we at ForeSight Business Academy, we know you're rich before you do. We see value in you, and you being here tonight means that you see the value in yourself, and you see the value in learning, and you see the value in associating with individuals who are where you want to be, but are not yet, and can lead you there. That's what we're doing tonight. So let me see if I can jump on this Facebook page as well. You know, Carly does this so well. Miss Carly, the CEO of Fun, she makes this look so easy. She's on Facebook, she's on YouTube, she's here on the Zoom, she's giving all of the rules and doing all of those things. She makes it look so simple. And I will eventually get on this Facebook page. I promise you I will. All right. But remember, pens, paper, water, bathroom, all those things, get them done before we get started so that we can go ahead and we can be ready for Mr. Bean. We have about two more minutes. And in 2 more minutes, I'm going to share a video with you. Ms. Carly did want me to share the angel investors video. However, I may have it available on another thing. I don't have it available downloaded, but I do have our Cancun video available and downloaded, and we'll have that ready for you. I see on Facebook. Let's see what we have going on Facebook here. Let me see if I can mute that. Yes, I can. Millionaire Mindset. I see we have Latoya Landry on Facebook. I see we have Beverly Pitts on Facebook. Absolutely. And Latoya Landry says, good evening, everyone. Excited about getting these magnificent nuggets tonight. See, Latoya Landry is ready. She's ready to go. We have good evening from Carlotta Walker in Middletown, Indiana. Let's go. Let's go. Just a little bit of ground rules before I play this video. One is, If this is your first time on the call, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, go ahead and put a 1 on there. So when our speaker comes on and it's your first time, you're going to put a 1 in the chat so that he knows it is your first time being on this call and investing in yourself and taking some time out of your busy schedule to be on and to get better and to improve. Secondly, if you can drop some 4-5, 4-5, 4-5s in the chart in the chat, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, or Zoom, drop some 4-5s in there. And what 4-5 stands for is ForeSight Business Academy. ForeSight. ForeSight means having vision. So what I'm going to do now, hopefully I can get this going, is I am going to share a video of you of some fun time that was had in Cancun. And in July, matter of fact, less than a week, July 28th, we will be in Cancun hanging out with our mentors, the great Mr. and Mrs. Bean, and having fun with them just like this.
Unfortunately, there's no sound on our end.
There is no sound on my end either.
All right. Obviously, I did not get this right because there's no sound. All right. Don't tell Miss Carly I messed that up, okay? She did a great training. It was me. This was actually the user that didn't do this right, not Miss Carly. Miss Carly trained me well. She gave me all of the details that I needed. So I am excited about being on that yacht in less than a week, hanging out with Mr. and Mrs. Bean. And the gentleman I'm about to introduce to you is no stranger to any of you, but just in case you don't know who he is and who his lovely wife is, let me just tell you that tonight's speaker has created millions investing, but the business model that he created is filled with opportunities that have made millions for others. That's why this is called Millionaire Mindset, because he's taking his mindset and trying to dilute our current mindset so that we can get more millionaire mindset inside of us. Everything short-term to long-term investment, commodities, and master classes for wealth creation, our speaker has done. One of the most current investments that he's introduced to us is an investment club with 3,000 investors that produced 23 million in revenue in 12 months. He himself turned a $10,000 investment. I'm going to slow down so you hear it. A $10,000 investment into 324,000 in the same 12 months. He has a goal of helping 10,000 families generate $5,000 per month in residual passive income based on the opportunities he's sharing with us tonight and based on the knowledge that he's sharing with us tonight. Let me introduce to you the GOAT, the greatest of all time, also known as the People's Champion, Mr. Samuel Bean.
Give me 1 second. I don't know what it is, but this thing will not come on. Let's see here. Let's go with FaceTime. Let's see if that works. There we go. All right. Boy, you and Carly with the GOAT thing, man, I tell you. That's okay. That's all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. That was Dr. Arlene George. Again, just out there, just one great individual. First of all, pulling double duty last minute here, introducing and hosting and supporting the platform tonight. Make sure you guys have a smooth transition from, again, just being there, sitting there and waiting with great anticipation until you get to this point to where we get a chance to share some special things with you. So, like she said, my name is Samuel Bean. Tonight is the Millionaire Mindset event, and we're going to be talking about a really strong topic tonight. It's $12 million nuggets. Like Dr. Arlene says, $12 million nuggets are highly successful business people. So, but before we do that, there were some things that she did mention, and again, our motto is for the ForeSight family that we know that you're rich before you do. We do see the best in you, and it's our job to bring it out. All right. And then you look at Project Pride, which is our movement. And the Project Pride is just an acronym for producing residual income in a down economy. Okay. And then when you look at our ultimate goal here over the next 5 years is to help 10,000 families create a residual recurring income of $5,000 per month.
Recording in progress.
Basis. And that's without them having to quit their job. That's just passively through their investments and through endeavors that they actually put monies aside to participate in. And so that's who we are. That's what we do. And I'm excited. Like she said, next week we'll be shipping off to Cancun. We have a really, really big deal, that weekend. It's just a mogul lifestyle weekend where, we're going to get out there on the boat, out there on the yacht, and out there in the ocean and let our hair down a little bit. As you see, we can do that pretty well. We're pretty good at that. And then the night after is going to be a beautiful dinner, catered, dinner, business dinner. We just get a chance to relax and talk and talk about money, talk about life, talk about business, talk about the future. And, again, my wife is just putting all the bows on that event. And so I'm looking forward to that as well on that Saturday night. But guys, it's just, an investment group that we're putting together here so we can go out here and touch the lives of people all around the world. It's not just about helping people make money. It's about helping people make change. Okay. And so the one thing that we want to do is we want to put people in a position of empowerment. So you will never have to tell another person in your life, man, you changed my life. Okay. Because when you tell a person that they changed your life, in order for your life to change again, they'll have to do it again, or somebody else will have to come along and do it again. Right. And so you'll be waiting for that to happen. So we want you to be in a position where you can change your own life and help other people do the same exact thing. So with that being said, let's see here. 12 habits, because there are 12 of them. And I want to make sure we get through them, and I want to elaborate on, and I actually have a bonus one. So make sure you hang around for that. All right. But when you look at these habits, guys, these are habits are very, very successful people, and they're very efficient, within these habits, right? And they've treated each and every last one of these habits, if not all of them, again, as if they were the main thing, not just, something important, but it's the one thing that you have to master. It's one thing that you have to get great at. And, the people who make the most money, the people who have the biggest and best lifestyles, these are the people who master more than one. And I can just tell you that the closer you get to mastering all 12, I can just say that you will need some help counting your money, right? And so that's why we want you guys in that position. So when you look at the 12 habits, the first one, and these are not in any order of importance, guys. The first one is having a positive mental attitude, PMA. Okay, and so if you think having a positive mental attitude is very, very important, put PMA in the chat. Let's see who's paying attention. Let me see who's awake. Let me see who understands how powerful a positive mental attitude is, right? And these people here, again, they can always be, found in any environment, because that's where the light is. That's where everybody's going. That's where everybody's headed. That's where everybody's huddled around the person who is positive. Okay, the exact opposite, you're repelling, right? If you're negative, you're repelling. Nobody wants to be around you. You're in the corner by yourself, right? Nobody wants to do business with you. Nobody wants to take advice from you. And so you want to be positive, right? You want to put yourself in a position where people love being around you and they can't wait to see you again when you leave their presence, right? So these people have decided to have a great day, regardless of what happens the moment that they wake up, right? And so there's a saying that I heard. It was a quote a long time ago, years ago, and it was a text message, like a little text thread, where it says, "Every time I wake up and I put my feet on the floor, the devil says, 'Oh hell, he's up again,'" right? And so that's the thing. And so when he's saying, "Oh hell," you're saying this is going to be a great day, right? And so that's what you want to do. Hey, it's going to be a positive day all day, every day, because it's the thing, it only takes a couple of seconds to ruin your whole entire day. And if you are, again, principle-based in that thought process, and you say, hey, look, regardless to what happens, I am going to have a great day. You have some of you guys who are situational, not principle-based, situational-based, where, I'm going to have a great day as long as X, Y, and Z don't happen, right? And that's how some of you live your life. That's how a majority of people live their life, okay? And so again, don't let anything happen that day that can ruin your day. You're human. You have an emotion attached to it. That's fine, but get over it and get it on, because you can't be productive and you can't be great, having a bad day. Right? They find a solution for everything that happens. Their goal is to also impact the lives of others. And so if someone has to motivate you, inspire you, or talk you down off a ledge, then you're highly ineffective, when it comes to this. You don't have a PMA, right? And so make sure you have that. Number two, these people they're highly effective because they are always in the creative mode of business. Okay, and when I say in the creative mode of business, I'm not talking about coming up with bright ideas. I'm talking about in the hunt. I'm talking about in the grind. I'm talking about, going out there and putting other people in the way of the information, right? Going out there, helping your teammates, going out there, helping your clients and your customers, and then going out there, finding new books of businesses, right? Finding new people to put into your portfolio. That's what creating, that's the type of creativity I'm talking about right here. Okay. How many people do you personally sponsor each month on an average in your portfolio, right? How many people did your group increase by today versus, this same day last month? Right. And so these people are always creating activity, always creating income opportunities. Okay. But these people are also always in the replacing mode of business. And so for me, I understand that I'm dealing with human beings. And if you ever notice, when you look at, the industry I used to be in, network marketing, you never really see network marketing companies on the stock exchange. Okay. And you know why? Because you're dealing with human beings. The commodity is a human being. Even though the products that they sell are products and services, the commodity that determines whether the company goes up or comes down are you emotional creatures called human beings, right? And so when you look at this, you got to also look at this the same way the stock market does. So you know what? I'm not going to, bet on something that's highly volatile, right? And so if people are highly volatile, they can go one way one day and they can go another way the next day, which a lot of people do. You jump from church to church or company to company or school to school or whatever it is, man to man, man to man, or woman to woman, whatever it is. You should keep that in mind, that you can't control people. People are going to do exactly what they want to do. So you want to make sure that as soon as you bring them on board, you replace them. As soon as you bring on one client, you already replace them with another one, just in case they wake up and have a bad day, right? And so you go out there and continue to build your portfolio in a manner in which, if this client leaves today, I'll have 10 more to replace that client that's already in place tomorrow. For every one person that may leave, I got at least 10 more that I'm bringing on per person. Create your ratio, make it fun. But these people, they can have you can also, when you talk about people, before I move to the next one, people will hold your team hostage. They'll hold your portfolio hostage. They'll hold you hostage, right? Especially if they believe that they are the reason for your season. When they're the reason that you're making all this money, they're the reason that you're successful. They're counting their volume, they're counting your volume. It's a lot going on. And so again, you want to make sure that you build a big enough portfolio, you create a big enough run on recruits and influx of business when it comes to bringing on clients and investors, that if anything was ever happening, somebody was ever leave and go to another company or take their portfolio to another investment platform, what have you, you want to make sure that your business doesn't go into the tank. Okay, that's important. You got to ask yourself, how many people do you talk about the business to? How many people do you say, hey, look, 𝐼𝐬 is the thing that we're launching right now? Or, have you seen where we're at right now in FinTalk or whatever it is? Have you seen what we're doing in 369? Have you seen what we're doing over here, in Lance Green? How many people have you talked to on a daily basis, about what you have in your portfolio? That's what I'm talking. When you look at this investment club, we have a lot of different things that we actually have to offer. Our catalog is getting pretty deep. And so we have something that, when you look at the people who are in your cell phone, their portfolio, you have people who have personalities match some of the things that you have in your portfolio. But the question is, are you calling these individuals? Are you alerting them that you're actually in business, that you have something that may help them? Okay. Exposure is very, very important. Okay. But if the amount of times you expose your business is not congruent with the goals that you currently have, you are highly ineffective. Okay. You want to make sure your goals are congruent. You want to make sure your actions are congruent with your goals. Okay. You want to make sure that everything lines up, everything checks out. Number 3, they are highly effective and successful people are very focused and don't get distracted. Very, very focused, and they don't get distracted. You hear me use the terminology or the word phrase or whatever you want to call it, emotional sophistication. Okay. So I talked about it earlier, not getting distracted by things or not letting things make you have a bad day. Again, you want to make sure you put yourself in a position where you're, focused mentally, and you're also focused emotionally. Okay, don't let people, rattle your chain, rattle your cage, whatever. But they're always in counsel and they value mentorship. You hear people use the word mentorship a lot, and the thing that I find out about human beings is this: when you actually get to a point to where you feel like, you know it all, you'll never use the word mentor. You'll never use the word coach because you feel like you're giving your credit to somebody else. And mentors and coaches don't want the credit. They just want you to succeed. Hey, I just say, I know millionaires and billionaires who still have mentors and coaches, but I know a lot of broke people who refuse to have one or claim one or submit to one. Okay. And so when you look at, submission, that word is a very powerful word. And I say the power lies in the submission, not being submitted to. Right. The person who I have become, over the years is because I submit to results. If you have the lifestyle that I want, I'm submitting to your results. I'm submitting to you as my leader. I'm not submitting to you as the man or you as the woman. I'm submitting to you, your system. I'm submitting to you and your resume. I'm submitting to you and your leadership, your coaching, your counseling, your evidence. That's what I'm submitting to, right? That's what I'm submitting to. So if you need a way to phrase it or frame it to where, you can go out there and get out of your way and start putting yourself in a position where you can get some powerful information, not necessarily from me, but there are mentors around the world who are qualified to mentor you. But 97% of the people out there aren't qualified for mentorship. There's no lack of mentors out there. There's lack of people who understand the value of them, okay? But they're focused. They're always emotionally sophisticated. No one inside or outside of the business can change the course of the business. Matter of fact, I can just say right now, when I look at Dr. Marika, and I look at Rich Randall, I look at Joe Cohen, I look at a lot of my leaders, another person from another group can't come in and give them advice. You can't come in and change Dale's mind. You can't come in and tell Carly how to do it. You can't come in and tell Beverly, hey, you shouldn't do it like that, because they are already locked in the system. You can't tell Dr. Arlene, hey, if I was you, I would do it this way, right? Because again, they already understand. They trust the source. They trust, they trust the information that they're getting, right? That's important. Still on number 3, right? People quitting is not a distraction for them. Talked about it already because you already replaced them, right? People withdrawing money is not a distraction, right? If a person has an extraction plan and that person pulls money out of the system, you're not, upset about it, because again, you're not banking on that one person, those 2 people, those 100 people on getting rich. You're banking on the system and a portfolio that you built. So somebody taking the money out, it's natural, it's normal. But if it affects you, it's because you didn't do enough. If it affects you, it's because you don't have a big portfolio. If it affects you, it's because you had that person in your portfolio to use them, instead of using the system to help that person build a portfolio of their own. You were here, you had them here to make money off of them. But emotionally sophisticated people who understand why they're in business, it doesn't matter. They're actually happy that people are able to withdraw money and people actually go out there and reinvest their money in other places, or go out there and have a lifestyle with the money that they actually have coming back as returns, right? But greedy people, people who are ineffective at creating, and people in building and things like that, those are the people who it hits the most, right? And so, again, that's just one of those things. They build principle-based businesses, not situational-based businesses. I talked about that a little bit earlier, but they don't let the uncontrollable control them. Anything can happen, guys. Like we've had a platform in the past where they slowed up paying, or they may have put a stall on payments or what have you. And guys, you can't control that, but you have to keep it moving, right? You can't stop. You got to keep going. You got to keep building. You got to keep going and keep growing, because at the end of the day, if you just stop right there, and that's the only thing that you ever invested in, not only did you lose that money, but guys, you don't make anymore. You let your past blackmail your future, right? And you sit there, you wallow in pity, or you wallow in doubt, for the future, whatever it is. People who are, again, very, very efficient and effective when it comes to staying focused, not get distracted, they don't let that bump in the road stop them. It might slow them down, but it doesn't stop them. They speed back up. When you go over a speed hump, what do? You don't stop in the middle of the street. You keep going. Then you speed up after that speed bump is gone, right? You go a whole lot faster. You just got to get over the bump. Okay, so you just got to get over the emotion. That's all it is. It's an occurrence, and it's a test. That's all it is, to see if you're worthy for the big prize. All right. But when you look at these individuals, guys, if someone or something can distract you from your goals, then you're highly ineffective. Okay. Number 4, they are highly effective because they're always increasing their personal and financial thermostat. They're highly effective because they are always increasing their personal and financial thermostats. Okay, so when you look at the thermostats, one controls the other. Okay, your financial thermostat here, your the way you think, your philosophies, your principles, the things that actually are up here, right? That's your personal thermostat. Your financial thermostat is what's in your bank account, what you earn per year. right? What's your like if you're making $35,000 a year, that's your financial thermostat, but that's also your personal thermostat as well. Personal development, your thinking thermostat. So when you increase this one has to, right? Has to match. Water always seeks its level, right? But if you have it right here, and then all of a sudden your financial thermostat goes up here, and you have way more money than you have, understanding, then what happens is that thermostat kicks in and says, hey, look, you're at 50,000 here annually. Thought process. This is where you are. And I don't know how you got this $275,000, but you need to get rid of it. And you will start to blow it. You'll start to spend that money on cars, whatever, shopping, trips, whatever. You won't put it to use, and it'll come back down, and that thermostat will shut off, right? Once it gets back to $50,000, once you blow that other extra $225,000 that you had, that you weren't supposed to have because you got it from the lottery or somebody gifted it to you, whatever, you got lucky, or even in a situation where you made a ton of money in investing, but you made it because of the system, okay? But you got your hands on that money, okay? What happens is your brain is going to make you get rid of it, okay? And so they understand that personal development is extremely important. They understand that they ought to always be in constant growth. You have to have an insatiable desire for personal development, an insatiable desire to get better and grow personally, right? And so that's important, guys. FYI, the personal development is not what you learn, it's the application of the knowledge after you learn it. It's the wisdom, okay? It's the wisdom of it all. And they also understand that there's more security and wisdom than knowledge, always sharpening their axe, and they are highly effective at evolving, right? Your job is to make people forget who you used to be. Right? A lot of people who know me now forget I had a go-to. They forget I used to, walk around with gold necklaces and big rings and on all my fingers. They forget, I used to wear nothing but starched down jeans and polo boots, and they forgot all that stuff. They see me now, they forget, they forget all, I made them forget, right? I brainwashed them. like Men in Black, look right here. Everybody look right here. And you just hit that little button and they just, and they wake up and all they know is who you are today, right? That's what evolution does. You're evolving right in front of people's very eyes, and they don't know who they're talking to. Like, who is this guy? Who is this? Who is this woman? And so that's your job, right? You got to evolve. You got to grow, and people will respect you because you're pouring into yourself, and you're growing, and you're evolving. You're developing yourself to something that's amazing. And most people, they can see it, but they're not willing to go through that process. That makes you their superhero. That makes you respectable. That makes you, they just put you in a position of envy, puts you in a position, it puts you in all kind of different positions, even negative positions, but it's negative because of positive. For some people, again, when they know what you're doing and they know that they can do it, but they're not willing to do it, there's some resentment there, okay? But personal development is very, very important. It's a continual process, guys. All right, let's see here. If you don't evolve, everything around you will dissolve. If you don't evolve, everything around you will dissolve. And if you think you already know it all, then you're highly ineffective. If you think you can't get any better, you think you can't grow anymore, or you refuse to, you're highly ineffective. And a highly ineffective thing that, I don't want you guys to get that. That's always going to be the last line of every one of these things, because there's always what I'm talking about being highly effective, but also that highly ineffective, it's going to sting sometime, because it's going to be a mirror moment for some of you. Okay? And you're going to see it, you're going to hear it, and just embrace it. Okay. Number 5, they're highly effective because they always shoot to do the maximums. They never, ever shoot to do the minimum. And you can always look to the leader. The leaders are always doing the max. And guys, I'm gonna just say right now, if you're not maxing out as a leader, then you're not leading, and they can see it. If you're not maxing out as a leader, your people will find a leader that's maxing out, and they will actually look to that person for guidance, right? When you look at the sports teams, and you look at, all-stars and legends, and you look at these people who are playing these games and these sports, You have people who are on horribly managed teams. You have people who have horrible coaches. You have people who have horrible superstars on the team, and they don't want to be on the team because they don't have anybody setting the right example, on that team at practice early and late, working on their deficiencies, working on their strengths, going out there, pepping everybody up. They don't have anybody on that team maxing out. So guess what they want to do? They want to trade. Send me to a winner. Send me to somebody who's in contention. Send me to somebody who's maxing out. And that's what happens, guys. You're in a position where you can go out there, you can be the beacon of light for somebody. You can go out there and you can do everything that you're supposed to do in front of that person and get that person to respect you. But then when that person leaves you, that person quits, or that person withdraws their funds and moves it to another company, another portfolio, or another leader, you get butthurt. Then it's not that person's fault, but you blame your shortcomings or your deficiencies on that individual because they made a business decision and you made an emotional one. The emotional decision to be lazy, the one that you made, the emotional decision not to put out, high energy, high effort, right? The emotional energy the decision that you made not to max out. Yeah, that was, again, because you didn't feel like it. You didn't do it because it didn't make sense. You didn't do it because you didn't feel like it. And that word feeling, again, is an emotion. Think about it for a second. How many times you had the chance to go and work out and you didn't feel like it? Right? Even some people on that had days, what I'm saying, where you didn't feel like working out, you didn't work out. Right? I'm just saying it's not just for us chubby people, what I'm saying? Us round people, what I'm saying? Some of you fit people didn't feel like it either. It's natural, you're human, what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, again, if you fail, it's because you felt like it. If you won, what I'm saying? Again, it's because you chose to. Both are still a choice, but I want to keep that word feel right there because, again, that's in your everyday vocabulary. It's in your everyday folk. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. Well, I feel like doing this stuff. It's emotional. Your day is driven by emotion, not purpose, right? But you always got to max out, guys. When you do the minimums, you pay a larger price. And this is real one quick, and I love using this scenario. If you went to college, put a 1 in the chat real quick here. If you went to college, put a 1 in the chat. And then if right behind that 1, if you got a credit card when you went to college, put a $sign in there. But go ahead, backdoor with a $sign. Right? Okay. Credit cards, dollars. Okay. All right. So this is the thing about the credit cards. They gave you a credit card so you can go buy everything you wanted to buy as a college student, which is clothes and alcohol. And you max that $500 limit out fast. That $1,000 limit, you max it out fast. You went through it like it was nobody's business. And God forbid you got another credit card, you max that one out too. But let's just talk about the $15 a month that you were supposed to pay on the $500 credit card that you maxed out. And you paid that $15 a month because you want to protect your credit. And you pay that $15 a month, and some of y'all been out of college for 15 years, you're probably still paying $15 a month on the same $500. Hey, I'm just saying, look, you pay way more when you pay the minimum, right? You pay way more. If you pay $15 for 10 months without paying off that $500, guys, that's $150. Now, if you turn around and pay the $500 after that, you pay $650. You still pay more than what you should have paid. You could have paid the whole $500 off in one whop. You could have maxed out. If you maxed it out, you could have turned around and paid the max right back. That's why people love American Express. That's why American Express is so highly touted as a credit card, because you can't have that card and have a payment plan. They don't trust you. They already know you. So they already know you're going to pay the minimum. And at some point in time, if you don't feel like paying it off, you won't pay it off. Okay. So again, I always shoot through the maxims, guys. So if you are willing to shortchange or shortcut the system and your team, you are highly ineffective. They're highly effective because they are master promoters. They are master promoters. Now, this is crucial, guys, because I made a fortune in the industry, the direct sales, network marketing, and affiliate marketing as well as investing because of my ability to promote. Okay. And when you look at promoting, guys, those of you who don't have speaking skill sets and training skill sets and all these skill sets that all these people in these companies have, you know, the way you catch up and the way you surpass them is by learning how to promote. Right. So if you notice, you know, when we ran the FinTalk platform, guys, I didn't do all the presentations. I had people doing presentations, you know, every day of the week. But guess what I did? I still promoted to get people on those presentations. I still got butts and seats and ears where they can hear, right? You don't have to be the best presenter. Matter of fact, the better presenter you are, you probably make the less money because my past experiences that the people who had the microphone and the stage and people who were on the Zooms and stuff like that, they were just elated that people were coming to, you know, see them speak. So they may have told somebody about it. Hey, I'm speaking, you know, you come check it out or whatever, but they didn't promote. People who can't speak, can't present, but can get somebody to a point to where they can see something, watch some information, whether it's just a 10-minute video that you just sent them. If you can promote that video and you can do it better than anybody else, you can make a flat out fortune. If you can promote an event like tonight and every Monday night, you can make a flat out fortune because remember, you don't have to be the person with the information if you can lead them to it. You don't have to train like me if you can get them to the training. I'll train them for you. Okay, we'll present for you. The videos will present. You just have to be the promoter, right? When you look at promote like boxing, De La Hoya, you know, Don King, all these people, they are great promoters, right? They get butts in seats. Like you look at these brothers who are YouTube and social media phenoms, they boxers now, right? But they made more money than most boxers who've ever boxed. Not because they're better, they're horrible boxers when it comes to competing against actual boxers, you know, same age, same and who actually box for a living. They just put on good shows, right? But they promote it because they get the big names and they do all the marketing, all the advertising, all the promoting so they can get your eyeballs and your credit card. And they make hundreds of millions of dollars per fight. But they earned it because they promoted it, right? And so you got to start learning how to promote. You got to start learning how to paint pictures with words. You got to learn how to start creating verbal brochures, right? So when you talk about something, people can actually see it, you know, happening right before your very eyes. The best musicians in the world, the best, you know, storytellers in the world, you know, are people who can take you, you know, down a path like Slick Rick, you know, Adventures, and you know, his song Adventures back in the day. Here we go. Once upon a time, not long ago, and he hits you with it, and he take you all the way. Bev, you know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? He take you down, you know, that whole entire path, down that whole entire song, and it's like you're there with him, right? You got to be able to do that, guys. It's you got to be able to, the best people in the world can do that. Eminem, one of the greatest, can do that, right? And so yeah, again, made a fortune because he can put you in the picture, he can put you in the scene, and he can walk you through it, and you can act like you can just appear like you're right there with them. The best storytellers, Dave Chappelle, I've seen one of the best storytellers I've ever seen in my life in person. Can walk you through it, get you all emotionally tied into it, and just have you crying, laughing, and he got you where he wants you, right? So promoting, guys, you got to become master promoters. They're very efficient because they really and truly have the market share of every event, everything that's happening, every portfolio launch, whatever it is, they're going to sell out to make sure that they sell out. They're going to have more people participating than anybody. Okay. Also, when it comes to promoting, they build structures, guys. They're visionaries, and normally our greatest promoters. The visionaries are normally our greatest promoters. People who have vision. Promoters can paint a picture with words, like I said. But if you don't promote events, guys, and promotions for the benefit of your organization and their goals, then you're highly ineffective. Let me give you an example. You have an event coming up in Cancun, and this is what I do understand is that you won't promote anything you're not attending, or you won't promote anything that you're not doing. But if you knew exactly how important that trip to Cancun was to somebody, even if you were not going, you would still be promoting how important it was. You would still, even if you were not going, like Dr. Marika Gardner cannot go because that's the week of her family's reunion, right? And you talk about a woman that was almost in tears, like emotional about the situation. But all of her people are going because she knows how important it is for them. She understands the value of being in close proximity to people who have wealthy thoughts and ideas, people who can give coaching and training and have intimate moments like that. You know, she understands that. What a person who's never been on a trip like that would be when they own a yacht out there in the ocean, taking videos, taking selfies, what it's going to do to their social media feed. She understands that, right? That's why she's promoting. That's why, again, when you actually see a person, that's not going, you can almost have to go and talk to their team for them because they feel uncomfortable talking about something that they're not going to attend. Anytime and I never missed events on any level, but if I had to miss anything, you better believe my team, they didn't know it. And I talked about it like I was going because I didn't want to, whatever I was going through at that time to hinder their growth and their prosperity. That's selfish. Okay. So remember, you're promoting for your people. And remember, when they joined you because they believed that you were going to make every decision that was going to be in their best benefit, right? And when you don't promote to them and for them and their benefit, you're highly ineffective. It's very selfish, okay? They're highly effective because they are masters of launching new groups, okay? They are masters at launching new groups. And guys, the cool part about this is this. You don't have to have a huge database of people. You don't have to have a whole lot of influence to be masters at launching groups. All it takes is for you to have a high work ethic and be willing to go out there and talk to as many people as you can. And then when you get one, you take that person and blow that person up until you get two. When you get two, you take that person and blow that person up until you get three, right? And so all of a sudden, the stories will keep on kicking in to where now everybody you talk to and have talked to will start to come in. And then all of a sudden, the stories that you created will go down into those organizations that you have for those 1, 2, and 3 people. And that's going to blow up even more. Next thing you know, you have a highly effective lunch. But again, just knowing the process of the lunch and going through it, that puts you in a position of being highly effective. Big numbers don't. Doing the system properly, running the play properly, it does. Okay. So you talk about launching, they master creating and sustaining momentum. They don't look up and say, man, I did great. And then stop and worship, the work that they did, the results that they created, and buying their own press. And keep in mind, guys, that's one of the biggest things that kills momentum for people and kills the launch for people because you're buying your own press. And I'm gonna just tell you, when you buy your own press, guys, it's there to be bought because nobody else is buying it. Okay. So go out there, keep your head down and keep running, keep the momentum going, keep leading by example, right? They build structures that can sustain a 7-figure portfolio. Okay. And so what I mean is this, they're going to go wide and they're going to go deep, right? They're going to put in as many people in their portfolio as possible. So anytime you have an affiliate program that you're running, that you're participating in, and I know some people out there from network marketing and other network marketing companies and stuff like that. So, and it's also for network marketing as well. But when you're building wide, you're putting as many people in as possible, and you're building down in depth, helping all those people make money and helping all those people bring on clients and fill up their portfolios. That's width and depth. That's a foundation. Okay, if you're like 3 wide, you can't build anything really, really massive on a 3 wide platform. But again, if you go way wide, right? Over time, you ain't got to do it right away, but with the intent to go way wide and go way deep, you can. Not only will it sustain a 7-figure income, but you can actually scale it as well. Because the wider you go and the deeper you go, the more you can scale it. Okay. But they rely heavily on systems. Heavily on systems. No, you can't. When you look, the people who have made the biggest marks in money, it was always system-based. Steve Jobs is making more money dead than alive because of systems. Think about it. You have an operating system on your computer, the same one you're watching me on right now. And had it not been for Bill Gates, that probably wouldn't happen no time soon, because you couldn't function on a computer unless you had this program at some point. Right or right? So again, systems are very, very important, guys. Systems are very, very crucial. The companies that are dominating right now, the top companies in the world, are all system-based corporations. They don't require a lot of human interaction, because the more human interaction that you require, the more flaws and the mistakes you'll see in a situation. The more failed companies you'll see. The more you take it out of the human's hands, which is why a lot of people don't have jobs no more, right? The more you take it out of humans' hands, the more effective the company is, the more solid the company is. Because remember, the one thing a system doesn't have is feelings. I feel like going to the bathroom right now. I feel like sitting in the bathroom stall for 45 minutes and hopefully they don't find me, because I just don't feel like working right now. Yeah. So y'all laughing because y'all know people like that, or y'all some people like that. I'm just saying, again, people cost people money. Systems make people money. People cost people money and fortunes. Systems make people monies and fortune. Okay. But if the last thing you do for someone is recruit them, you are highly ineffective. The first thing you do is recruit them. And that's when the thing starts. You put them in the system. You plug them into the system. This is a part of the system. Being a part of the Facebook group is a part of the system. Being a part of the Telegram group is a part of the system, right? Making sure that they got the actual videos and stuff that come out and all the links that come out and any of the trainings that come out, that's a part of the system. That's what you're supposed to be doing with that person and for that person. You're earning revenue on that individual. Think about it as this: the more help you get that person, the more money you make, the more returns you get, right? Think about it. The less you help, the faster they quit and your money stops. So why not help that person as much as possible? One, so they can make as much money as possible. Two, and so they can stay as long as possible. Three, long enough they actually bring some other people in and actually duplicate themselves. Does that make sense to anybody? Am I talking to anybody? Right? So that's important. Okay. Number 8, they're highly effective because they are masters at edification and campaigning. They're highly effective because they are masters of edification and campaigning. It's not a spiritual thing, but think about how many of y'all talk about y'all pastor and the verses that he said on Sunday. Man, pastor did preach, man, you need to come visit my church. Campaigning for pastor, campaigning for your church, edifying. I'm just saying that's what we do, right? You know, I edified Dave Chappelle, right? And I was campaigning for a couple of my buddies to go there with me, right? But it was one of those things where it's edification, guys. It's campaigning, but they're effective because they don't let their egos and their accomplishments get in the way of their agenda, right? I can edify anybody. Whether you make more money than me or whether you make less money than me, it don't matter. The agenda says, I got to edify LaShanique. Oh, LaShanique is one of my best presenters. You know, she's one of these people right now, guys. She's a millennial. You know, she's made more money with me than just about anybody. And she takes 100% of my advice. She's a great student, you know, and matter of fact, she's such a great student that her mom stopped being her sponsor and allowed her to sponsor her because she has more knowledge in what we do than her mom. So now, not only is her mom a part of our team, when her mom used to be a sponsor, but now she's sponsoring everybody, you know, and so she's one of our top speakers and one of our top presenters. She's also one of the people I trust to give information to people in my group. That's edification. And I just looked up and saw a picture on the screen. You can edify anybody if you want to, if you feel like it, right? Right. But edification, again, if you get your ego out the way, guys, you can make grip. You know, ego, edging goes out. Okay, edging goes out. You can't have a huge ego and a big bank account at the same time. You can't. Okay, it's just not how it works. But they don't announce, they campaign. Okay, presidents don't win presidencies because people say, hey, just vote, you know, for Trump, just vote for Hillary, you know, just vote. You ain't moving nobody, you ain't inspiring nobody. When you campaigning, right? You campaigning, you got all these people's bullet points and resumes, and you got verses, man. This is why you want him over her, or her over her, or him over him. This is why, and you campaign. You got the sign in your yard. You got the bumper sticker, right? And you do it for politicians, but you won't do it for your business. You do it for politicians, but you won't do it for your freedom. You'll get ticked off at me if I don't vote. Oh, you ain't serve your duty. You ain't do your duty. But I mean, your family need money. You didn't do yours. Right? So at the end of the day, you are willing to attack me because, you know, I'm not campaigning for the same person that you're campaigning for. But I'm campaigning for you and your family to be wealthy. Okay. But you want to stick a sign out in your street in your yard to say, hey, get on the Millionaire Mindset call. Hey, get on Crash Camp. This is what you do. Get on Crash Camp. They got Crash Camp. It's on Facebook, I think. You know what I'm saying? You don't even go get the information, right? You don't even tell a person how to be a part of the Grant Cardone program. You don't tell the person. It's just, hey, you just announce it. You mention it. It's not important to you. But people who are millionaires and billionaires, they campaign. They don't announce. They don't just mention. They do their work. They figure out what the bullet points need to, the points of focus need to be, and they hammer them in, right? They don't announce. They campaign. If they have egos, you don't know it, right? And so I'm just telling you, some of the people who make the most money, you know, who campaign for others, they talk about others so much you don't even know they have money. Like, you know, when I edify for my leaders and stuff like that, and I campaign for my leaders, guys, when it came to me being a subordinate, and people look past me to that individual because I edified so strong. But that person who I edified, they knew exactly what to do when I got that individual to them in the right mindset. So you didn't just vote for the president because somebody said vote for him. You vote for him because they told you what that person believed in and why that person's beliefs and their values align with yours. And you say, you know what? That's right. That's why I'm going to vote for that person. That's why I'm going to go out here and join 𝐼𝐻 Global. That's why I'm going to go out here and I'm going to do Lance Green. That's why. And that's why people would do it, because you campaigned for it, because you did your job. Okay. But yeah, if you, let's see, where was it? Yeah, if you have a destructive ego, yeah, you are highly ineffective. Okay. Number 9, they're highly effective, you know, they're highly effective at opening their minds and casting visions. This is the thing here, boy. We're talking about some grown folk stuff right here. Highly effective at opening their minds, having an open mind, and casting the vision. And the vision that they cast, guys, if you're not where you want to be in life, the vision that you cast is not your vision. Nobody wants to follow your vision, right? You want to tell everybody what your goal and your dream is and why they should follow you, when the overall vision of the company or the group, right, is bigger than yours. Your vision is not even big enough for some people to follow, because your vision is not big enough for you to actually have their dreams encompassed and your dreams encompassed in the same vision. So if you want to make $100,000, you know, a year, okay, and that's what you want to make, and that's the vision that you cast, you know, to somebody. Like, let's say use me for this example. I'm not trying to make $100,000 a year. I'm not trying to make $100,000 a month. I'm trying to make $1 million a month, right? That you can't lead me at that point. Your vision is too small. right? But if you say, hey, we gotta go right now, that's gonna produce, at least 50 millionaires. And the people who create the most millionaires, people who help most people get to $5,000 a month residual income, these will be the people who are going to hit $1 million a month, $5 million a month. And now you got my attention because you're talking about the vision of the group, which is huge, right? And so the more you talk about the vision of the group and how big that is, that's just, we're talking about visions. If I'm talking about my vision and a person has something against me or that person doesn't want to, follow me, what have you, then they'll go find another vision to follow. Again, so always take it off yourself and always put the vision on somebody else, and they understand that, right? But they don't have tunnel vision, and they're very, very flexible in their thinking. And remember, Napoleon Hill had a book. He wrote in a book. One of the chapters was inactive thinking. Okay, and in that chapter, he talked about individuals who are very bad to do business with because they're not flexible in thinking. They think that their thought process is the only thought process, and they think they're right all the time because they're the ones that's thinking it, right? And so, again, when you hear somebody who's never ever going to budge, never ever going to change, they're not flexible, yeah, that person, be wary of the person, because that person at some point in time will undercut you or leave you, right? Because that person, they only believe in themselves, right? But they don't have tunnel vision. They're flexible in their thinking, but the vision doesn't have to be theirs. They just have to believe in the vision. That's all. They just have to believe in the vision, right? They understand the vision formula. I just gave it to you. If you want, I remember my last coach or mentor, when it was about 10 years ago, and I was trying to recruit this guy and I was trying to make $100,000 a year. That was my goal. And the guy who I was trying to recruit was trying to make $1 million a year. Okay, not a month, because nobody really did it except for my mentor at that point in time. And so he's like, look, you can't lead this person. This person's never going to respect you or follow you because you think too small, right? You got to increase the size of your thinking. It's going to be uncomfortable in the beginning, but at some point in time, you'll grow into it. And when you grow into it, you'll see your money grow at the same time, but you also see your group grow, and you also see a higher quality of people coming into your groups, right? And I'm like, wow. So if you want to build a big group, he said, you have to have a big group goal. Okay, you got $1 million a year guy over here. You got a $50,000 a year guy over here, $250,000 a year guy over here, $500,000 a year. You got to create a goal that's big enough to encompass everybody's goals in your groups. And it scared the heck out of me. It did. Not gonna lie to you. You gotta think about it, guys. They say it's like a quote, it's like I was sitting in a presentation one time, and the guy is saying, hey, guys, we're about to go in momentum. We're right there on the cusp of going to momentum as a company. He said, but this is the thing. You can't just be in the company when we go into momentum and make more money. You have to be a part of the reason why the company goes into momentum, right? And that's how you blow up. That's how you explode. That's how you get rich and wealthy. Being in the company at the same time the company goes in momentum doesn't equate into dollars. It just means that you get to watch it, right? The same thing when it comes to a person who has, no understanding about the vision formula. You can continue to beat your chest and pitch your vision and everything else, but what you'll do is you get the chance to see people tell you no because they don't want to join you, or people who will go out there and out-earn you because they're following somebody else's leadership, somebody else's vision. You get a chance to watch a lot of success around you that has nothing to do with you, right? But you don't want that type of situation. But if you literally, guys, don't understand that vision formula, it's going to be a long time for you. But if you can see past your own, if you can't see past your own ideas and visions and opinions, you're highly ineffective. Number 10, they're highly effective at consuming, applying, and disseminating information. They don't rely on others. As this is key. You gotta, anytime we launch something or anything, you gotta be on the scene. Like, give any video that we're putting out, you gotta learn it. You gotta make the information your own. You got to treat it like it's a college course, right? Like it's your 9 o'clock class, and the next video is your 10 o'clock class, and the next video after that, that's your 1 o'clock class after lunch, and you got to take this thing and really consume this information, because if the information stops with you, right, then that means that you're killing the seed of your group. That means that now your people don't get the information because you're unwilling to learn it, right? Your people don't get the benefit because you're unwilling to pass it forward or be proactive enough to get the information to them. Okay. But these are people that are very, very highly effective. They don't rely on others. As soon as they get the information, they not only learn it, they disseminate the information. They pass it out right away. They make sure their people got it. They realize that their teams are relying on them at every moment, and that they don't have the information. And then when they don't have the information, they're losing money, losing ground on competition. They're also self-reliant and often invaluable resources to serve the big team and systems. So when you look at, again, people who you see take the information right away. I gave Dr. Marika one video to watch, one on IX Global. But I said, now get back with me after you watch it. By the time she got back to me, she found 3 other videos that she watched. I'm like, look, Doc, but she's taking the information and she's consuming it, but she's also will be the one that's going to be getting the information out to the public, the masses, right? Lakeland Williams, same way. He's my R&D guy. He'll go find videos on anything and he'll send them right to me. He'll go find updates on anything and bring it right back to me, right? Very invaluable. Lashanique, same way, bring the information back. And other people make contributions, but I'm talking about my pillars, the people who I can rely on, the people who I can count on. People ask me, and so you don't know, I don't know anything about that, but the information is in the system. We put the videos out. It's not my job to learn that, right? It's your job to take the information that's sitting out in the videos and make sense of it and then get it to your team. Don't always have somebody do your job for you. Stop bugging people 100% of the time when you have the same information that everybody else has. They just chose to actually look at it. You want the Cliff Notes version of the work that somebody else has already done. You're slowing up other people's businesses and taking money out of their pockets because you don't want to go to work and work for yourself. You want to ask customer service questions when customer service answers are right there in the group. Videos are right there in the group. The same trainers are right there in the group. But instead of going to get the information, again, you say, well, I'll call Earl, I'll call Dale, I'll call Forrest, I'll call somebody who already got the answer. They already did the work. I'll call Bev. Guys, that's not the way you go get rich. That's the way you never get rich, because rich people don't hang around and associate with lazy people. As a matter of fact, they stop communicating with you. They start putting a void by your phone number. That's the thing I'm gonna share with y'all. Do that, guys, and watch. How much easier your life get when you have people who in your group who and all they never do what they're supposed to do. Let's put a void by the number. If it's in the system, put a void by the number, and you answer. If you want to answer when you want to. But I'm just telling you, this is very, very important, because what happens is, at some point in time, they'll get it. If every time they call you and it's to ask you to do something or give you an answer that they actually have access to, or the answer that you've given them already, or something that's been trained on already, yeah, I don't retrain and I don't re-answer. And the more and more you ask me to do that, the more and more it lets me know that you're not emotionally sophisticated enough to take the information I'm giving you, process it, and apply it. That means I should not be investing time in you, my most valuable time, the most valuable resource that I have at my disposal, wasting that on you. And the moment that you actually start doing that, people will start respecting your time, and they'll start doing what's required to be successful. Stop handicapping people. Every time your phone rings, y'all first ring people. Somebody on your group call you, you pick it up first ring. And they call you to get something, to get an answer that they should already have. And then you hang up frustrated. And you already know what the call is going to go like. It's certain people in your group, you already know, right, Earl? Right? Just saying. You know people that, Marv, right? There's some people, as soon as you see them a call like that, you don't even want to answer that thing because you already know what it is. I'm just saying, man. Terrell, you know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, it's just like, this is, guys, don't do it to yourself. Stop answering the phone, start making money. Because every time you answer that phone, you can't call somebody. Every time you answer that phone, you can't campaign, you can't promote. Every time you answer that phone, you can't be doing income producing activities because these people are reducing the amount of activity that you can do by wasting your time on the phone, having a conversation that they should never be having with you. Right, Rich? Just saying, man, this millionaires don't, and they are unapologetic with their no's and non-answers. They don't give you an answer. They don't give you a reason why they don't answer. They just don't answer because they know you're not worthy. But you feel obligated to, because, oh my God, they came into business with me. You feel obligated. I don't answer people in my family's phone calls. If I know what they're calling for, no, because this is business. This ain't family. We can play same blood, but we got a different understanding. You're not gonna feel entitled, because we got a relationship. I'm harder on my family and my friends than I am on anybody. You got to teach people how to treat you. Just saying. Okay? But get that information out there, guys. Get that information out there and put yourself in a position where you become irreplaceable. And I'm going to tell you, when you're serving all the time, you're doing something that other people don't want to do because serving is voluntary, right? And most people think it's free labor. Let me share something with you. The people who share the most, like the people who do all the presentations, the people who do all the trainings, they actually are more valuable, not because they're serving the team. They're more valuable because they're learning more than you. Every time they do their presentation, they get better than you. Every time they do that training, they get better than you. Every time they serve, they show up better than you. So at some point in time, remember, their value increases. Remember that financial thermostat I'm talking about? Every time they do a presentation, they get smarter. So now they can provide more service to the group. Every time they do another training, every time they do a three-way, every time they do a lifeline, every time they do a training, every time they do a promotion, guys, next thing you know, the people who refuse to do all that stuff that was out here with them, they're looking at the highest ranking people in the group. They're looking at the highest income earning people in the group. They're looking at the people. It's a big difference. Again, it's about understanding. You think it's free labor? Okay. I just think it's a way for a person to go out there and elevate their status all the way around. Because who has more visibility? The person who's in the back doing nothing, or the person who actually is in the front doing everything? The person who's doing all the presenting and training. That's why, look, if I have an opportunity to present, train, if I have an opportunity to do exactly what Dr. Arlene George did today, which was host, I'm doing it. We used to fight the host because it meant visibility on a platform that we knew hundreds of people were going to be watching, and potentially thousands at some point in time, they were going to be watching this broadcast. And if I ain't get the host, I'm the first person they hear from. I'm the first person they see, which means that every time we go to a big event or something, and somebody's coming up and say, I listen to you all the time, I heard you all the time, but you always hosting, you always, and what you said last time, man, my group love you. Next thing you know, your group is listening to these people edify you and thanking you and saying, you know what, man, Lashanique, that training that you did or that presentation you did was amazing. And you sitting there with one of your knucklehead business partners who in your group who don't respect you, who don't listen to you, and they hear somebody else respect you and listen to you, and they're not even in your group, but now it makes them look at you different. It puts them in a position where now, man, I probably need to stop taking my leader for granted. I probably need to stop taking my leaders, and taking that time and wasting it. I need to be looking more seriously, at who I'm working with, because I can actually be with somebody else who doesn't care. So again, there are a lot of different benefits, to serving, a lot of different benefits to going out there and putting yourself in a position where you're irreplaceable, but you're highly ineffective if the information and education stop with you. Period. Okay. They are highly effective. Okay. They're highly effective with having uncomfortable conversations. They're highly effective at having uncomfortable conversations. Okay. So, and we all know things are going to go bump in the night. You got egos, you got attitudes, you got personalities. Yeah, you're going to have some hard conversations. Right. And so, at the end of the day, you're always going to have to be the mediator, or you're always going to have to be the person to pull the person to the side and address some character issues, missed assignments, giving some corrective criticisms. You're going to have some hard conversations. And the people who can have those hard conversations, those, again, are the people who are respected. And most people can't have those hard conversations because you're too busy to try to get people to like you. You're in business, not a contest. This is not a popularity contest. This is business. I'd rather you not like me, okay? But you respect me, because when I have a hard conversation with you, it's for your benefit, not mine. It's a conversation that I really don't have to have with you, but I love you enough to give it to you. And I'm going to give it to you direct, but I'm going to give it to you with tact, and I'm going to give it to you with respect, right? I'm never going to belittle a person, never going to talk down on a person and be condescending. But if it stings a little bit, so what? You're grown. You'll get over it. You'll get over it. Or it'll cost you. Because I've had conversations with leaders where, literally, it brought me the anger tears. Some of y'all know what them anger tears are. Them tears that you be so mad you just want to fight. And then I'm gonna just tell you what I was going through when I had them anger tears. And I was in a victim mind state, because they were giving me information that I needed to hear, but they weren't giving me the information that I wanted to hear. I was too busy trying to be understood instead of trying to get the understanding. That's what victims do. It's all about you. It was all about me. And I'm over here angry. Grown man, listen to another grown man tell me about myself and read me, right? Because he was qualified to read me. And he read me. And I didn't like it because it was true. But I didn't want to admit it. Because you don't want to admit it when you're wrong. You don't want to admit it when you're at fault, right? And your feelings are hurt, right? So you don't want to hear it. But that's why most people are not built, mentally and emotionally to get rich and wealthy. Jack Nicklaus said, "You can't handle the truth." You know what I'm saying? All my old heads, I know about that movie. So, at the end of the day, learn how to have hard conversations and look at that person that you don't want to talk to, because it's uncomfortable, and just look at them and in your mind and your spirit, even if you got to verbalize it out loud, and just say, "I love you enough to tell you the truth." Okay, and just start off with that intent to tell the truth, not to hurt, not to harm, And this is the easiest way to have it. And write this down. And you can write, you might want to write this down 50 times somewhere. And because this is a question that will put you in a position where every hard conversation will be an easy one. Okay. If I knew you was doing something that was costing you a lot of money, would you want me to tell you? Okay. If I knew you were doing something that was costing you a lot of money, would you want me to tell you? And the answer, guys, 100% of the time, like Jeremy said, yes. And so now, when that person says yes, right, I get to say, "Hey, Jeremy, let me ask you a question." So when you didn't come to a Millionaire Mindset call for the past 3 weeks, and your team saw you, missed those calls, and some of your teams were on there, and they saw that you missed it, do you think that got you closer to your goal or got you further away from your goal of getting to $5,000 a week, $5,000 a month, whatever? Hey, Jeremy.
Got me further.
See, there you go. See, I love participation, by the way. But that's how you see how easy that is, though. Yeah, I didn't come to you and say, "Hey, Jeremy, why you wasn't on the call, man? Bro, you're gonna be broke, bro. This is a Millionaire Mindset call. You're gonna be the $1,000 guy." I'm just trying. I ain't gotta do all that. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna lead in with that question. You're gonna give me permission to give you the truth. And because you gave me permission to give you the truth, I got the floor. Now I just have to deliver that message with tact, with love, with care. So you say, you know what, brother, you're right. You know what? I'm not gonna miss any more Millionaire Mindset call. And I'm gonna tell you, I watched this conversation. This is where I learned this thing. This was 2003, November 2003 to be exact. And I remember my sponsor, I sat there and watched my sponsor tell his sponsor, man, we had Saturday morning training every Saturday morning at the hotel, right? And I remember I'm sitting there looking at him, and I didn't know what was going on. I didn't even see this coming. I didn't even see this coming. So he said, man, guess what? He telling his sponsor, guess what? Yeah, I was at the barbershop taking my son to get his haircut on Saturday morning, like I do every Saturday morning. And one of my people came down from Dallas and was at the Saturday morning training. And they called me and say, hey, man, Saturday morning training was fantastic, man. I just thought the system was amazing, you know. And he said, so do you think that made you look more of a leader or less than a leader to have somebody on your team at a training in the city that you live in and you wasn't there? Then he said, whoa, yeah, less than a leader. He said, okay. And he didn't have to say, well, I would suggest you. He said, you know, I won't ever miss a meeting again. He said, I have my wife take my son to get a haircut, or I'll take him on another day, you know, but I never miss another Saturday morning meeting again. And he didn't. For that point going on, he never, ever, remember, it's an internal fix. If I attack Jeremy and say, bro, you missing all these calls, and guess what? If he likes me and he respects me, you know what he gonna do? He gonna get on a Millionaire Mindset call for a couple of weeks. He gonna do it because he felt like, you know what, that I pushed him a little bit, I antagonized him a little bit, I poked and prodded him a little bit. That was an exterior push. I forced him to do that, and directly. And so that wasn't a decision he made. That was a decision I made for him. But if Jeremy says, you know what, you're right, you know what, I never mess him. If he says it on his own because I asked the question, he gave himself the order. I didn't. He gave himself the instructions. I didn't. That was an internal fix. So now guess what? That has a opportunity to be a permanent fix. It has the opportunity because he made that decision on his own. So when you not just have the hard conversations and master how to have them, again, people will respect you. There's some conversations I can just say I had totally wrong before I figured out how to do that. And I had some people, I had what they call dead bodies in the street. You had some people that just relationships, bad relationships, that people in other groups, other organizations. Yeah, Dale, I made my fair share of my mistakes, guys. That's why I can actually have conversations and trainings like this. And one day you will too. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, you are highly ineffective if you cower from hard conversations, and being popular is more important than your people's investments and lives. Okay, you are highly ineffective if you cower, capital C, from hard conversations, and being popular is more important than your people's investments and lives. Number 12, they're highly effective, you know, because they're leading all leaders on all levels. Basically, they're 360-degree leaders. John C. Maxwell wrote a book called, it's basically titled 360-Degree Leader. I'm going to just say that's something that everybody at some point in time need to pick that book up. I have the book and the audio. If you can find the workbook, get that one too. But that one book helped me build our organization, you know, and they'll tell you, Joe will tell you, you know, Rich, Carly, all of them who have been with me for a long time, they'll tell you, we built that thing from the scratch without having any help. And we forced people to respect us. We forced people to appreciate what the value that we brought to the company, not to our group. We forced them to. We had people literally, and like people we were not allowed to train other people's team. We had people on other teams, man, what are y'all doing? How y'all doing that? Why are people respecting y'all? And it's because of that book, 360-Degree Leader. We built it And we made everybody from top to bottom respect us, from the owner all the way down to the lowest person on our teams. You got to be able to do that. You got to be able to do that. You have people in other industries talk about you, you know, and just saying they'll hear about you before you even meet them. People want to be led. As people want true, genuine leadership. People are tired of tyrants and bullies and greedy people and manipulators, right? They're tired of that stuff. That's my brand. That's my niche, right? We lead top, bottom, side to side, cross line, and we lead people cross line who are not in our team indirectly. We influence the people above us, right? With production and with ideas, concepts, creativity, results, right? Impact. And we influence the people who are in our organizations based on support, right? Leadership, systems, and all this other stuff that we provide. It's what we do is by design. It's not accidental, right? Success is not accidental. It's success, and sustained success is going to always be purposeful. And a 360-degree leader, guys, will give you a really good foundation of that. And that was just on the title. So let's jump down into the meat. So this right here, influencing their circle of impact, right? Up, down, side to side, leading up, down, and across, always making deposits in the company, right? Always making deposits in the company, their teams and other teams indirectly, right? Just talked about that. They're selfless and they tend to put everybody else first, right? Selfless, and they tend to put everybody else first. They lead by example. They go first and never last. They always want the responsibility. And it's not for the fame. They just want, this is the thing about a person who leads on all levels. They want the responsibility, not the fame, because they know if they get the responsibility and they get to mold that thing in them and like the way, like our system, our environment, our culture, right? The way we live in our bubble, when people come in, they have to either adapt or leave, right? You can't come in here as a thief. You can't come in here as a backstabber. You can't come in here and trying to poach people's people. You can't come in here. You ain't going to do all of that. You ain't going to come in here with profanity. You ain't coming in here with disrespect. You're not coming in here with all that, because that's not what's in here. It's the exact opposite. That's why the leaders want to go first, because you get the chance to set up everything the way you want it. Person's moving into your house. If they set it up, you got to move into theirs. So now you got to put up with all the stuff that they got going on in their house. That's why real leaders go first. Real leaders don't ever go last. They lead. Remember, in every room of leaders, there's always the leader. In every company, there's always the leader. In every group, there's always the leader. In every group of leaders, when you see a lot of leaders, there's still always the leader. You want to be the, not a. You're going to live most of your career as an A. You know what I mean? Well, a lot of it, not most of it. You'll live a lot of it as an A, as a leader. But get to the part. That the part is where it's at. It's not the main thing. It's the only thing. When you're the leader, guys, that things change. Okay. Let me see here. They are pioneers and trendsetters. Okay. I'm just saying, if you always let other people take the lead and other people go first and other people impact your team, you're highly ineffective. And here's the bonus. They are very effective at not just setting the proper goals, but achieving them. They are very effective at not just setting the proper goals, but achieving them. Right? They stay focused, guys. They always keep their eye on the prize. Nothing's more important than hitting their goal. Nothing's more important than hitting the team's goals, right? Nothing's more important than hitting the company's goals. They make sure that everything is a win-win situation. So all goals have to be hit. If the company's goals are not hit, the company goes out of business. Even if you made a lot of money, you're about to lose because now you have no more money, right? No more, you don't have any more money coming from that property, that situation. If your team is not making money, you're making money, and the company's not making money, it's a lose-win-lose situation. You got to make it a win-win-win situation. So everybody's goals have got to be important. Every goal not set is a goal not attained. Okay. And they understand that. Highly unsuccessful people, highly ineffective people have no goals. They are the Columbus of the business industry. They get everywhere they go on accident. Okay. They don't let people distract them. If you got stuff on your calendar, they're not gonna let you. No, you ain't gonna move nothing around. To go to a party, go out of town, whatever. You're not gonna go just to have breakfast. No, if you got a meeting set, you got appointment set, you got things you got to do to hit that goal. You're not gonna be distracted. You're not gonna let distracted people distract you. Because remember, by definition, that's what the purpose, is distraction, to become a distraction. And you don't want that to happen. Remember, again, it's just another test. The test always comes before what? The testimony, right? But they know all of their team and clients' goals, and they give game plans and the support to achieve them. So you sit down with people and you bring a person into a company, guys, one of the first questions you should ask a person is, what are you looking to achieve here? What's your goals? How much money you want to make? How much time you want to make it in? You got to know your team members' goals. All your directs, if you don't know all your directs' goals, again, you're ineffective. Get to know them. We used to do files, and then it got expensive. And when you start getting really, really good at recruiting, and you start buying a whole lot of files, hey, you know what? Thank God for computers, because now you can actually put them on. You can create your files online now, right? Yeah, man. And for a blue, oh my God, for me, that was being organized with all this extra stuff, man. I don't need all that. It's hard enough to find it on the computer. And for me to go through these real files, come on. But they do not invest a lot of time in people that refuse to set goals. They already know for a fact you're destined for failure. If you refuse to set goals, you don't have goals. Yeah, they'll give you a little support, they'll give you a little help, but they're not going to put any real time in on you. Successful people don't do that. Highly effective people don't do that. And I'm going to say this. So next week, and that was the bonus was the segue, because next week there's going to be a clinic on goal setting. You get the whole entire formula, because you're halfway through the year, and some of y'all stop shooting for your goals, mid-January, early February, right? Or some of y'all joined the company and something went wrong, and you tied your goals to that company, so you stop shooting for your goals. Okay, all of a sudden your energy gone. People can't find you. They got your picture on the milk card now. Like where's my leader? So I mean, you gotta. This is very, very important. The next week, I'm just saying, if you don't promote for it again, it's just one of those things that's gonna make you a highly ineffective leader. You make sure your people are on there, because I know how to set goals. No, not like I set goals. Not like we set goals. We dominate because of our goals. We dominate because of the system that we have that helps us attain our goals. Okay. And so you want to make sure you're here, for that training next week, just like you were here for this training. But I can just say right now, if you want to see your money skyrocket, you want to see your portfolio skyrocket, get as many people on that call next Monday night, same time, same line, way more people, and watch how much damage you do economically over the next 6 to 12 months. When this thing kick into high gear and everything goes berserk and bananas, let's give yourself 12. Watch what it looks like next year this time. For those of you who actually get people on that call next week, and make sure that you follow through with them after that call is over with. Okay. So next week will be our last call. Well, it won't be the last call, but there will not be a call after that one because we'll be in Cancun still. Okay. And so we'll be doing Millionaire Mindset call out there on the yacht and out there at the dinner. And so hate it for you if you're not going to be there and not going to get that information. But as always, guys, you know, it is what it is. You know, some people will, some people won't. Just like some people will win and some people won't. The cool part about it is that you all have a choice. Okay? And that's one thing that I do know for a fact, that given a choice, you're going to always have, you know, people who have difference in opinions and indifference, period. And people going to choose or lose for whatever reason, you know, and you just accept it, embrace them, love on them anyway. But their choice don't have to be yours. Okay. What you want to do is you want to go out there and make the choice to win so you can help other people make a high quality choice next time they have to make one. Okay. Make people regret the bad choice that they make based on the good ones that you made and made work. Okay. So next week, see you guys, same time, as we always say, same line, more people. Love you guys. And we're going to always do everything we can to put you guys in a position to hit all your goals and get all your dreams accomplished. And I don't know who else out there is doing what we're doing, but we need more people, you know, doing exactly what we're doing, because a lot of people out there need, a lot of people out there are hurting. So catch you guys later. Y'all take care. Good night. Thanks, Dr. Arlene. Appreciate you.
Recording